How are you? Hi, habari zenu, hamjamboni. My name is Nyasha Ngoloma. Welcome to Awake Again. Hi guys, thank you so much for coming back again. I hope you are blessed. I hope you enjoyed the previous video. Continue to ask your questions, continue to send your questions. Today we're talking about a very interesting topic, something that I think all of us, I believe all of us, however old, however young, suffer from or is affected with. So today we're talking about how to deal with wounds from our parents, okay? So it could be past wounds, it could be present wounds, it could be things that you're still going through, it could be things that happened so long ago but you're still struggling to forgive, or you're still struggling to move on, you're still struggling to maneuver through it now. So I hope that these few pointers will kind of just help you, encourage you, and guide you on how to do this. These are things that I've done myself, I've seen my friends doing these things, and so I hope that these things will help and bless you, okay? All right, so first things first, be slow to become angry. The scripture says that be slow to speak, be slow to become angry. I've noticed with my parents, and even with just different interactions with older people, maybe relatives, or parents, I've noticed that anytime I lash out or I respond immediately, it seems like it's something that has happened within like few seconds, but most times, by the time I'm responding in an angry way, it means that I have already taken time to take it personally, to be angry, to own it, so that now I feel the need to respond. Some things, imagine, you don't need to own them for you to even start getting a response for it. Sometimes it's important to just say, to just be slow to even just to load, and then immediately just say, actually, I'm not going to get angry about this, and I'm going to give a response. Actually, if you need to, that is, if you have to give a response, I'm going to give a response that's just going to be such a gentle answer that will not even affect things more, or even, just stir the pot more. So for example, this one, I know all of us have experienced this. Okay, not all of us, please. Kuna watu ambao walibarikiwa kweli kweli, okay? But some of us, I'm sure you had a comment from your parents about your weight, and you just feel like, of all things to say, seriously? Hiyo nguo hapana, hiyo imekukataa sasa, peana. Unakula nini? Guy, unanona? Akiwe ni mdogo, kwani ukuli nini nakusumbua? Such statements, very easily you just want to respond, but the scripture tells us to just be slow to become angry, so that you just decide to just say, you know what, it's not worth it, it's okay, and you just say, hey, I'm small, I know, and just walk away. And you also don't carry it, don't take it to heart that sasa you're being slow to become angry, you're not responding, but then you're going to now carry it forever. No, you just let it go, just walk away. There are bigger things to worry about in life, okay? The next thing, try put yourself in their shoes. Most times when there's conflict, it's so easy to immediately feel like I'm the one who's on the right and you're the one who's on the wrong, and vice versa. But most times, both of us are on the wrong, or sometimes you're just not trying to maybe see this scenario or this situation in the other person's shoes, especially when it's a parent, and especially when it's a repeated behavior. So for example, if you know that your parent is always, hot-tempered, and they don't shy away from just telling you as it is or something like that, they might tell you something and maybe they're actually telling you in a very good way, like they're not even being mean, but because you already assume and you're already expecting a certain reaction, the first thing that you do is just react. You react in such a negative way because you're not trying to ask yourself, okay, maybe in this scenario, that's not what they meant, maybe in this scenario, if I was like in their shoes, I would even do worse, I know examples like, and we even mentioned it in our very first videos with Pastor Emma, the counseling psychologist, when we were talking about, single parenthood and all that. For example, when you come home, and you say, Mom, I'm expectant, or dad, I'm expectant, and that's not what they expected. Try and put yourself in their shoes, okay? Try and put yourself in their shoes and see that maybe if it was you who was being told, maybe you'd even react worse than them, because no one prepares you. No one prepares you in premarital counseling and tells you that, oh, okay, so you're going to get married to your husband or to your wife, and then a few years later you'll get children, and then your children will get pregnant and they'll come home one day, when you're busy there expecting them to come and tell you how, oh, I've gotten this awesome money, they're coming to tell you that, oh, I'm pregnant, I don't even know, hata sijui ni nani, ama even the guy has refused, he said he doesn't want. Ama the boy is saying, oh, by the way, I've impregnated a girl, and this girl, by the way, as in, I don't even know what I was thinking because it was just a one night thing. For you, maybe in that moment you're so desperate and you're so broken and you just need support and you just need someone to hug you and tell you it's going to be okay. But at the same time, try and put yourself in the shoes of your parent who was not ready for that. Like, they were not expecting that at all. So for them, their first reaction might not be the true picture of what they actually feel, like, because they've not even sat down to think about it. I remember even when you were younger and you lose something in school, or maybe even you were bullied, like someone even stole it from you. I mean, it's not like you lost it on purpose, like someone stole it, and you go and say, and you're expecting your parents to, to hug you and tell you, oh no, they stole from you, and your parents is just like, you're so careless, and you get angry and you get scarred for life. Imagine, it's never that serious. Sometimes just try and put yourself in their shoes. Maybe what they're communicating is just, oh no, it's so expensive, I have to buy another sweater for you. For them, they're not thinking like, okay, oh yeah, someone stole it from me, someone bullied you, let me hug you, okay? So try put yourself in their shoes, okay? And that might help you to just navigate through that whole conflict situation. The next thing, try to share your frustrations, okay? Just speak out. And it's not always like you just have to speak out. It also depends on the parent you have. You know your parent more than I do. So if you know your parent and you know that, hey, there are some topics that I cannot even dare argue or whatever, it's fine. You don't have to prove any point to anyone. You don't have to cause further, like even bigger conflict because you're trying to have your way. Sometimes it's okay to just surrender and say, it's okay. I let you in and it's fine, But if you're in a position where you're able to speak to your parent, or you're able to even involve a third party to speak to your parent, or if you have maybe an aunt or an uncle who your parent really listens to, try and do that, okay? Because sometimes assumptions are just the worst things and conclusions. Noel likes to tell me, don't be quick to jump to conclusions, because sometimes you just conclude. You conclude that, yeah, I'm sure this is what they're going to do. I know they did this because of this. And sometimes it's not that. Sometimes maybe they're not even aware of what you're going through. Like you need to tell them. Or maybe then they just do it. It's a habit they do. You've never corrected them. So for them, they believe that, that's just how you correct your child. You just shout. When you want to send your child, you have to shout. So for them, they don't know that, hiya, but then you don't have to shout, mom. Imagine even if you just tell me with a very low tone, imagine I'll go, but because you're not sharing your frustrations, what ends up happening is you all form conclusions. So your mother or your father decides that, hey, my kid is rude, my kid doesn't like to be told anything. If you tell my kid anything, she locks herself up, she gets angry, she goes and hides herself in the room, she does what? And then you've made your conclusions. And what do you decide to say? Me, my parent, she just has to shout to me, so what will I be doing? Anytime she shouts me, I'll just be going away. Me, I don't want trouble, I don't want drama. So you end up just growing more and more apart because you're trying to solve something without really sharing and saying that, okay, can we just get a middle ground? Like how can we move forward together as a family? All right? Yes, so just feel free to speak out, feel free to share, feel free to say what you feel, okay? In a very calculated and humble way, because correction upwards often is taken as rebellion, okay? So just ask God for wisdom, take your time. It's not like after you watch this video, you wake up and you decide, whether I'm sending a text to my mother or my father with all my issues, ajuange tu by the way, nimpashe, apana. You do it with wisdom and with humility, all right? All right, next thing, give credit where it's due, okay? Acknowledge growth, however small. if you see that maybe you spoke about a certain thing and your parent is really trying, maybe they're not there yet, maybe they're not even doing the best thing, but they're really trying, acknowledge that growth, okay? Acknowledge it, and not just acknowledging it in your mind and telling yourself, simwambii ndio afure kichwa. Imagine, tell them, just say, hey mom, but there I need to just commend you on something. I feel like you've really changed. Like when it comes to this and this, I feel like you've really grown. And that thing really helps, not even just, parent and child relationships, even like spouses, even in relationships, boyfriend and girlfriend, it really helps when you open up and you tell your partner that, hey, ever since we spoke about ABCD, imagine I've really noted a lot of growth and I'm so proud of you. And I'm so happy that it's really helping us become even more closer and even better in relating to each other, So the same thing applies even in your parent-child relationship. Feel free to just always tell, don't always be looking for the 30% that's missing and you're not even congratulating this person for the 70% that they've really worked on. Just say, honestly, mom, dad, I'm so happy that from the time we spoke about ABCD, I've really noted some changes and I'm so grateful, and let's just continue. And feel free to even tell me, mom or dad, if you feel like there's something that I can grow in. That way you grow together. All right, next thing, let go of the victim mentality. Let go. I think I say this in most of my videos. Let go of that victim mentality. You're not the first, you will definitely not be the last, and for all the people who've gone through either similar or even worse situations like you, like maybe very seriously strained relationship with their parents, there are so many people who are still thriving. And by thriving, I don't mean like doing well in life, they are big, they have money or whatever, but thriving emotionally and mentally, in their maturity, in their emotional intelligence. There are so many people who are thriving in that sense, who still came from a background similar to yours or even worse, okay? And I know everything is unique, but I mean, there are some things that are just facts. For example, for the women who are in Afghanistan right now, there's no way you can say that, oh, me, I'm having it worse in terms of, for example, practicing my faith. People who are Christians in Afghanistan are really struggling. Like you cannot compare a Christian in Afghanistan who is a woman with a Christian woman here, for example, let's say like in my church, We're two different people who, one has like 100% freedom of worship, the other person is just like waiting to die, like they're actually counting days because they know they will soon be killed. And it's the same thing, it's just life, it's just the truth. Even in terms of conflict and strain, in terms of, relationships straining, it's always, yes, unique, but there are some that are worse, like obviously worse. That's why even in court, there are certain things that it can be the same offense, but the way this person is sentenced is not the same as this other person. Why? Because of maybe how they did it or how it ended up affecting the person who had that happening to them. So for you, acknowledge that yes, this was bad, this was toxic, this was very bad, but I won't be a victim forever. I will get up out of that dust and I'm going to seek healing and I'm going to seek help and I'm going to become better and I'm going to change and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be a thriving human being. I'm going to be a whole human being, okay? I won't use that as an excuse for, there are people who who I'm sure also, who will just do certain things in their lives, in the name of, hey, me, I went through a very, bad past, like with my family, with my parents, so that's just how I am. Imagine that's not just how you are. Imagine you can actually change it. You can actually put in work and decide that I'm not going to be a nuisance to the whole world because of something my parents did. No, I'm going to set a new example for other people who are coming after me, all right? So don't be a victim. Just shake off that whole dust and that funk that you're in. Just come out of it. If you need help, go and seek help, counseling, therapy. Go and seek help, go and talk to someone, look for a community, plug into a community, share what share what you feel, what you're going through, how it made you feel, and it'll change, okay? And you grow, all right? Another thing, if you've tried everything, like if you've literally spoken to a counselor, if you've even gone together your parent and you to the counselor. You've gone to church. You've gone to, you prayed, you've fasted, you've done everything. And imagine it's still not changing, especially if it's a very toxic environment, like it's maybe abusive, like it's violent, it's, those things that are just toxic. It's okay to love from a distance, okay? So don't feel like, wow, because I'm a Christian, I have to put myself in the center of this heat every day so that I prove sijui which point to sijui who. Because imagine, if you can't do it anymore, you're going to just break down. You're going to just reach you reach your end. You'll reach your end, and it won't be good for you. It won't be good for your friends. It won't be good for even your own family that you're really trying to, fix with all your strength. You can't do anything by your own strength. So it reaches a point where some things you've prayed, you've fasted, you've done, you've gone to a counselor, and this I mean you've done everything, as in anything that a human being can do to try and solve that issue. You've tried everything. Love from a distance, okay? And loving from a distance doesn't mean blocking someone and acting like they don't exist, but just saying with your words that, I love them from a distance. No, it's genuine loving them from a distance. It's genuine like doing shopping for them and maybe even delivering it there, staying for 2 seconds at least, just say hi to people, leave. If it's a place that's like very, very violent, maybe that you can't even go physically, it's okay, you can deliver, or you can even just send a message, and you just, once in a while, and you just say, oh, nawajulia tu hali, how are you doing, nini. If it's clothes, if it's maybe money for food, or if it's whatever kind of thing that you can do to show love, show it, but from a distance, okay? Of course, safety first, Same to even, again, marriages, you can't stay in an abusive marriage where you're being beaten up and you're still saying that, hey, I'm a Christian, so let me, please, if it's violent, if you're going to lose your life, if it's unsafe for you, love from a distance. Please just get out, okay? Get out. And there are so many ways, there are so many people that you can go and get help from. So same thing, even in these kinds of relationships with the parent and the child, okay? So feel free to love from a distance, all right? And then the final thing, remember that your parents are only human. Imagine, unfortunately or fortunately, they're not superheroes, they're not robots, they're human, okay? So as much as they have their strengths, they also have their weaknesses. They have never done this before. Imagine they've never had, like I think there's a friend of mine who always says, for example, if I use myself as an example, my parents have never had another nyasha ever in their lives. I am the first nyasha that they've ever and they will ever have. And on this day, whatever day whatever day this is the only day that they will have, and it's the first day of this specific day that they'll ever have with me. So there are some challenges that will present themselves that they've never really had to respond to or to work on or to maneuver. So they're just trying their best. So of course there are times when they'll get it right, there are times when they'll get it wrong. And again, there's also their personalities involved, there's ego involved, there's the age involved, there's their exposure involved, there's their background involved. So there's so many things that affect how your parent will do certain things. So don't put them in this box of it's either you do it like this or like this. And if you do it like this, you're wrong and you'll never be right, and I will punish you all your life so that you know that you're the one who made me become like this. No. Just understand that this person is human and they're just doing the best they can. They're just trying. And most importantly, the change you want to see always starts with you, okay? So just start, whatever it is, whatever culture you want to see in your home, for example, if you're still staying with your parent, okay? Or even in the relationship you have with your parent, it always starts with you. So if you feel like, my parents don't even call me, like they never even bother with me, they don't even know if I'm alive or dead, you can actually start that culture yourself. You can just decide that, I'll set a reminder, and you don't need to tell anyone. You don't need to tell anyone that this is something that I'll be doing. Set a reminder on your phone and say every Friday at 3 p.m. Maybe one day your parent will wonder like, how come this person calls me at 3 p.m. every Friday, But in case they never notice, at least you'll be calling them. And guess what? The more you call them, the more they'll start like missing that, that communication, and they'll be noticing, like they'll be looking forward to, hey, Friday, so-and-so will call me, so-and-so will call me, or even Monday, they'll call you, they'll tell you, hey, what you were talking about, Jana, this has happened, and then you end up having a better relationship. If it's, for example, lunch dates, and you're seeing your other friends and you're like, hey, me, that is something that I've never heard that my parents talking about taking me on a lunch date or on a dinner date. The change starts with you. Just say one day, Mom, where are you? What are you doing? Dad, where are you? What are you doing? Let me take you for dinner. Let's go for lunch. We'll go for lunch tomorrow. So jipange, plan yourself nicely. And then you take them out. You'll notice that it's something that slowly, it will start growing in your relationship, okay? So these are just very few pointers that will guide you on how to just heal from certain wounds and how to deal with certain conflicts that you have with your parents, and how to move forward and just become, move forward and victorious from them. And so if you have any other pointers that you'd like to share with us, again, as I always say, let's build each other up. Please just comment on the section below, the comment section down below. Just tell us what you do with your parents. Maybe feel free to give an example so that people understand. Just tell us how best we can deal with different wounds, and in a godly way and in a very civil way, okay? So I pray that this blesses you. Please share with a friend. If you know of any person who's struggling with that friendship or a relationship with their parent, please share this video with them. And I pray, actually my prayer to every single person watching this who has that striving relationship, I pray that the Lord will just come and soften your hearts and bring you closer to your parents and bring your parents closer to you. I pray that God will just renew your relationship, renew your friendship, that you will start singing for joy and you'll start thanking God and giving your testimony, saying that, wow, and yet on this day, the Lord started doing a new thing, and He who starts the good work in you will definitely bring it to completion. So trust in God, put all your trust in God, and He will bring it to completion, okay? Have a blessed week. Actually, enjoy your weekend. And share the video. Bye.